Thank you so much, Marshall, and hello, everyone. Today is September 3rd, 2025. This is the Wednesday CalPads Q&A, and my name is Matt Clark. I'm a data governance administrator at SIS, supporting CalPads, and I'll be hosting the Q&A today. Driving documentation for us is Alex Thandy. In terms of announcements, I do have a couple for folks today. First, the September CalPads regional update meetings are taking place with both morning and afternoon sessions next Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's September 9th and September 10th. The session that you register for should be based on your region, and regional information as well as registration are available on the CDE regional meetings page. American Sign Language interpreter services will be provided in the Wednesday, September 10th morning session. And then the second announcement here, the new plan file layout was put into production 1 week early. So it was put into production this Tuesday, the September 2nd, yesterday. The new layout adds 2 new fields to the plan file type, but vendors were not anticipating this early implementation, and IVRs on these 2 new fields aren't scheduled to be implemented until next week. This being the case, in order to mitigate against issues, the plan file will not be available for upload until next week's release, so until next Tuesday, and the CalPads homepage does include a message with this information. That was it for my announcements. Angela, any announcements on known issues, defects, or deployments to share today?
Yeah, we didn't have any thing go in yesterday production-wise. They are gearing up for Fall 1 and the rollover, so no production bugs as of yesterday.
All right. Thank you, Angela. And Sean, Dominic, CDE folks, any announcements?
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. The Fall Roadshow schedule is available, including registration links. We don't have it up on the website yet, but I do have this document. I just dropped it into the chat. You can download it, and using the links in the document, you can sign up and register for any of the roadshows that are close to you. Roadshows begin on the 15th, which is less than 2 weeks from now. So it's already roadshow time. And that's all I have.
Feels like you just finished roadshows, Dominic.
It feels like it.
Right. Well, thank you, Dominic. Let's go ahead and jump into the questions then. First, we have a Q1 from Chris at 301. For the enrolled in U.S. schools less than 3 cumulative years indicator, are we basing it off of 3 full school years? If they joined mid-year, year 1, then finished 2 years afterwards, we're at 2.5 years. Would the partial year count as a full year so that the indicator is N? If they completed 2 full years before and have started their 3rd, is the indicator Y? And Alex has pulled up the CFS with the enrolled in the U.S. schools less than 3 cumulative years indicator.
It says cumulative there.
Yeah, so it does look like it is cumulative. So a Y would indicate that the student has been enrolled less than 3 full cumulative years total, and an N would indicate that the student has not. So 2.5 years cumulative is not yet 3. So the indicator would be an N in this scenario.
However, if that student has like exited and left the country, they had not a T-180, a T something, a T, whatever it is, and they left the country. I don't know the code off my head. And they came back, then you may need to recalculate that then again.
All right. Thank you, Sean. And thank you, Chris, for the question. Follow up, what portion of a year counts? Cumulative seems ill-defined. So cumulative is the total time spent enrolled. And cumulative means that it can be non-consecutive. So if they left and returned, we're continuing the clock when they return. Right. Moving on to a Q1 from anonymous participant. Please do try to name yourself in the participants box with your first name, last name, and the organization that you represent. But we will take your questions. So Q1 from anonymous participant at 301. We have a parent who completed a Sunbucks application, but would like to revise it due to their income being marked as weekly when it was monthly. Can these revisions be collected from the parent and resubmitted considering the deadline for the application was September 2nd?
I'm not comfortable answering that question because it's not a CalPADS question. That is a application question. So that should be directed to the, what is it, summer EBT at cde.ca.gov is what it says in that flash. Unless there's already like a statement for that for revisions within their FAQs. Alex.
I can put the link for this in the chat.
Yeah, if you want to put it in there, and then if not, if you can email your question to the nutrition services department because it's directly a nutrition question, not a CalPADS question.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Alex. And
My
thank you,
pleasure.
anonymous participant. Please do submit a service desk ticket or refer to the Sunbucks page to locate an answer for your question. Next, we have a Q1 from Rigoberto at 3:01. Good afternoon, team. Good afternoon, Rigoberto. We have first-time enrollments who were administered the home language survey. On the home language survey, these students were determined to be TBD with a primary language of Spanish. However, the family has since requested to correct the home language survey and that their student be adjusted to English only or EO. How should we document this, and how can we express or adjust the SELA record in CalPADS? And Alex is taking
So
us to the SELA correction reason codes page.
thank you. That's a local decision though, because if the student hasn't already been put into CalPADS, Rigoberto, and they haven't already been tested, which is great, and they've already identified, and the parents haven't signed any consent saying the students haven't been tested, then that correction for the HLS, Alex is showing you corrections for if the information is already put into CalPADS, and that I don't see that being expressed in here. You saying that it's TBD, but then you're saying that the primary language is Spanish, and then they want to correct it. So again, that's a local decision of how you all handle the collection and correction of an HLS form. And it should be documented based upon the HLS documentation, which is there, which is what Alex is showing. Thank you. But for CalPADS correction, you would just upload, you would delete the SELA record and then put up the new SELA record.
All right.
There's
Thank you,
a,
Sean.
I think there's an alternative if the student's language was always TBD and it's just a primary language correction. I believe you can go into CalPADS and change the primary language.
But he's saying that it's for the HLS though, and he's saying that the student, we don't know if the student has been tested or not tested. So if the student hasn't been tested, then they should make the full correction in CalPADS. But that goes to the other process of, where's the map? The little colorful map?
CalPADS user manual.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Alex.
This one,
Both.
right?
It's fine, yeah. I'm like, so then that goes to that one. But again, it basically depends on if the student hasn't been tested or not tested. So if you have a specific student, I recommend submitting a service test ticket.
Right. Thank you, Sean, Nate, Alex, and Rigoberto for the question. Moving on now to a Q1 from Stephanie at 302. Hello. Hi, Stephanie. My question is for Dominic. Sorry, Dom. I keep getting asked the question by different charter schools and not sure what the correct answer is. Does the program setting on the educational settings page of the IEP need to be updated since the service location 570 was retired?
No, there's no change to the program settings. You would use whatever you would have used depending on where the student is actually placed and receiving services. That service location code was just, that's the only part of that changed.
All right. Thank you, Dominic, and thank you, Stephanie, for the question there. Next, we have a Q1 from Milad at 302. For annual IEP dates or reevaluation dates, should they be changed based on the parent consent date or the first meeting date? That's another one for you, Dominic.
Yep, I didn't even turn off the mic. So the meeting dates, when you're projecting like the next dates, it's going to be the day that the IEP team met, but that plan effective start date is going to depend on when the parent actually consented to that plan. So two kind of different concepts there. The meeting date is always going to be that first date, and then the parent consent date, or the plan effective start date rather, is going to be based on when the parent finally agreed to the plan.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Dominic, and thank you, Milad, for the question. Next, we have a Q1 from Pa at 303. LTEL export, question mark. Second year in this position and not sure where to find this. So Alex is taking you to the extracts page, which you can find by looking under extracts on the left-hand navigation menu. And then under ODS extracts, she's showing you the cumulative enrollment or CENR extract. Which identifies the long-term.
Flash 311 also has some information on that.
All right. Perfect. So Alex showed you where to find the CENR, and then Flash 311 gives you a lot of great guidance on how to locate and interpret the LTEL students on the CENR. And that is importantly an extract, not a report. Sometimes the CENR and the SENR get a little confused. Thank you, Angela and Alex, and thank you, Pa, for the question. Next, we have a Q1 from Evan, which I'll say right now, I appreciate the way that this question begins. With the wildly successful launch of the new training registration page, thank you, Evan, thank you. We do think it was successful today with our first live training course that used the training registration page. Some of our LEAs have been disappointed to find that they weren't able to register for a session. Will you be adding additional sessions, or should they plan to catch the recording when it's posted on YouTube? So before Fall 1 trainings began today was the first day of the Fall 1 live trainings. We did take a look at the registration page, and the Fall 1 data population courses were completely booked up. So we did schedule a third Fall 1 data population session. There's currently 130 seats remaining to be, or 127, I'm sorry, seats remaining for that course. So if you were not able to make it into today's training, or if you were not able to make it into the September 11th data population training, there is a successive session that we've created for folks to get access to that live content. Up until today, we had not yet fully sold out or booked up our Fall 1 advanced courses, but we just booked up the advanced course this morning. So we're going to be in discussions internally about the feasibility of offering a third advanced course. And there are still seats remaining in the second reporting and certification course. And so as of right now, there is still an opportunity to register for data population and reporting and certification. We do still have 2 live sessions of Fall 1 Advanced that we will be delivering, but we'll be discussing whether we can have the ability to offer a third. If we do not, there is currently a 25-26 version of the Fall 1 Advanced training up on the CSIS YouTube training channel now. Fall 1 for 25-26 was the first time that we were able to lead with the YouTube videos for reporting and certification and advanced. So we do have the on-demand trainings available on the YouTube channel for reporting and certification and advanced, and they're available now prior to the live session. So those are the ways that you are able to access the CSIS live and on-demand trainings.
And then for the LEAs that haven't received a confirmation for tomorrow's training, should they have already, Matt?
Yes. So you should have received a Zoom link for the confirmed participants for today's or for tomorrow's session. I'm sorry. Tomorrow is the advanced session on September 4th. If you made it into that room, you should have received an information, or you should have received a message with the Zoom information. There was a wait list for the advanced session tomorrow, and if you were on the wait list, you should have received the notification that you were on the wait list and providing additional ways to either attend or to view the Fall 1 advanced content.
So we may want to check into that one because some people are saying they haven't received anything.
Okay. I will check into this as soon as we're done with the Q&A this afternoon.
Thanks so much, Matt.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you for that very kindly worded question, Evan. All right, next we have a Q1 from Low Reeser at 3:05. My coworker and I have not been able to upload or view file submissions within the last hour. Is this a known problem? And then Chris asks a clarifying question. Do you mean that you can't access the pages, or that they're blank or not working? And we have not yet received the answer to that clarifying question. Is anyone aware of an issue with the view submission screen?
I am not, other than you can't upload plan files right now, and that's intentional.
She says it shows something went wrong. Please try again in 15 to 20 minutes.
Try maybe clearing your cache or maybe a different browser and see if you get that same result.
Yeah, I had that briefly at the end of today's training, just in the test environment, and I waited a little while and I was able to have full access within the test environment. So I think Angela's suggestion would be helpful.
Thank you, Nate, and thank you, Angela, and thank you, Larissa, for the question. Next, we have a Q1 from Lethea at 313. Hello, hi, Lethea. I received some clarification regarding the Sunbucks data submitted to EDCS. Shout out to Nate. Thank you, Nate, for always helping a girl out. I unfortunately had already submitted some data to the EDCS prior to getting my questions answered because I panicked and thought I needed to get something up before the end of August. I know it's a full replacement file, but because we don't have any UBA data submitted yet, how do I go about deleting the file that I submitted to EDCS? The file that I submitted included Streamline certified students. And Alex is pulling up Flash
It's a
307.
full replacement. So if she just puts up the new file, she doesn't have to delete anything. Isn't that what she's asking? Or did I misunderstand the question?
No, that sounds correct to me as well.
Oh, okay. So just, you don't have to delete anything. Just put up the new one.
Right. And there is more information in the SSV data collection instructions on the CDE webpage, which I believe Alex is putting in chat. All right. Thank you, Alex. Okay, next we have a Q1 from Larney at 313. I was getting ready to tackle the task of LTEL for our district, and then Flash 311 happened. Lots of questions, but I'll start with this for now. We are trying to identify our LTELs in our SIS, and I'm wondering if we should prioritize the data quest definition or the dashboard definition. Section 313.1 of the Education Code, which mentions the data quest definition, is convenient because we already got the list provided for us to be downloaded. Section 52052, which is the dashboard definition, if my assumptions is correct, are the upcoming enhancements by CalPADS.
Maybe I'm just lost on the question. What timestamp is this?
It's 313 from Larney. And basically, in identifying LTELs in the SIS, she's wondering if she should use the data quest definition or the dashboard definition, and kind of stated that the data quest definition is much more convenient locally.
But she's talking about the LTEL file, correct? She's talking about the source file that she got back, right? What file is she talking about? I think that's where I got lost.
She
'Cause it's
says yes, that is what she's talking about.
So it goes off of the LTEL, and it goes off of the top definition. No, with it. It goes off of Ed Code
313.
52052, which is the dashboard definition. That's what that file is going off of. Well, which one they're choosing, that's separate.
She says SOAR is section 313.1. That's the data quest definition.
That's the data quest definition, that's correct.
All right. Thank you, Larney. If you would like to continue this kind of line of questioning, please do submit a service desk ticket. I think it's important that the LTEL stuff turns out correctly for folks. All right, Chris, we're gonna skip your Q2 for now. We'll head back up to that once we finish the Q1s. We have a Q1 from Wendy at 3:15. Is the special education annual determination data will be pulled on LEA Fall 1 deadline of December 12th of this year, or the end of the amendment window on January 23rd of next year?
Data for the annual determination letter is going to be pulled on December 12th, or as of December 12th.
As of December 12th. So the Fall 1 deadline is the relevant.
Yes.
Thank you, Dominic. All right, next we have a Q1 from Jerry at 3:16. Hey, Matt. Hey, Jerry. I was curious if we report all 9s for the staff SEID, specifically for CTE courses, does this impact the college and career indicator at all? In other words, does having the SEID to show the instructor is a highly qualified CTE instructor versus all 9s? Does this have any impact, negative or positive, on the college and career indicator on the California school dashboard? I feel it's important to note that the generic SEID of all 9s should only be used in course section files. It should not be used in staff demographic or staff assignment files to report staff members. It should only be used in courses to report teachers that are not employed by your LEA. And then if those teachers do in fact have SEIDs, it is always best to try to track down the actual information for those teachers whenever possible. That is just a qualifier, though. Your question is about the impact of the generic SEID of all 9s on the college and career indicator. And Alex has the dashboard technical guide for the college and career indicator up here.
It doesn't have any impact. We take the high quality indicator is for assignment monitoring, and the dashboard doesn't care if your courses are high quality or not. If they are completers, they are counted.
Thank you, Nate. But you may receive a misassignment then for you most likely will receive a misassignment for the SEID of all 9s being used.
All right. Thank you, Nate, and thank you, Sean. Thank you as well for the resource there, Alex. Next, thank you, Evan. Next, we have a Q1 from Eva at 3:17. Some students' RFEP date is set during the summer when they do not have an overlapping enrollment with our LEA. What date should be used in the SELA record? Or what is the best way to get the SELA record to post? And Rebecca's very helpfully pointed to Flash 300, which provides some helpful guidance on the RFEP, how to report RFEP students who were reclassified during the summer. And there are 5 scenarios in a table for you to determine what is the best reporting scenario for your local situation. All right. Thank you for the assist there, Rebecca, and thank you, Eva, for the question. Next, we have a Q1 from Yadira. Dominic. For Dominic. I have a student who got consent for an assessment on August 27th. The student qualified and the plan effective start date is September 2nd. What do I do in the SIS for the student start date? What type of enrollment code do I use for the assessment period? Do I use a 10 or a 50?
You would want to use a 10. There is an FAQ on this. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now that tells you how to enroll students that are being assessed or starting special education and what codes to use. Preschooler would be a primary enrollment, and that's the table right there Alex is showing.
All right. Thank you, Dominic. And thank you, Yadira, for the question there. Next, we have a Q1 from Madison at 328. I'm seeing the Fall 1 data population training course on the CSIS training site is full. Is CSIS planning to add additional sessions for the training? And we have added additional sessions. It is not for the online maintenance demonstration, though. We've added an additional Fall 1 data population, but we decided to showcase the batch file upload demo in the third session rather than online maintenance. And that's because the batch file upload process is used much more frequently by LEAs, and it can be a more complicated process. And so we thought it would be best to showcase that demonstration in the third session. But that is available to register on September 18th. There's still 124 seats remaining in that session. So please do, Madison, go to csis.fcmat.org/csis-training. And I'm going to ask Alex or Marshall to put that link to the training registration site in chat there. Please do register for that training, Madison. We can get you all the support you need for Fall 1 data population. All right, next we have a Q2 from Chris, and I'm going to try to read it before Nate presses enter and gets this one over to the answered column. All right, so Chris says, apologies for my literal mindedness. I studied math in college. Can relate, Chris. If a student attends school for, say, 9 out of 10 months, is that a cumulative year, or do they need another month? So basically interpreting not necessarily the word cumulative, but the word year. So does 9 months count as an academic year? What counts as a full academic year in the less than 3 cumulative years definition?
Well, the key is academic years, and that differs from LEA to LEA, right? There's not a specific time or set dates. We know the California minimum, which constitutes a year, but every LEA may have a different length. So you're thinking academic year in terms of cumulative. So this is going to go back to what Sean always tells you. Some of this is going to be a local decision, how you define what an academic year is, but it's definitely not calendar years. It's going to be academic years. And unless anybody has something else to add, I did find that information and I will post it. It's from CDE web portal.
All right.
Thank you, Nate. Nope, nothing to add, but ours is just a yes or no indicator. So I understand what, refer to Nate's definition, refer to the definition of Nate's posting, but it's a yes or no. So in your scenario that you're giving me, Chris, it would be a no because it's 9 months. Whether it's 9 months or 10 months, it's less than 3 years.
All right. Thank you, Sean, and thank you, Nate, and thank you, Chris, for the follow-up question there. Next, we have a question from Micah at 3:30. Sorry, I joined late to the Q&A. How do I get the Zoom link for tomorrow's session? I've already registered there. So we did at least believe that we sent out the Zoom link for the Fall 1 advanced session tomorrow to all of the confirmed participants this morning, and we sent a message to the waitlisted folks this morning as well. But I was informed during the Q&A here that some folks have not received that information. So as soon as we get done with the Q&A here, Micah, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, I will do more research on what exactly is going on with that messaging, and I will make sure that that link gets sent out before the end of the day today. Apologize for any technical difficulties. This is our first training round with the new training registration site, so please do bear with us. We are trying to make it a better training experience for everyone. All right, next we have a Q1 from Jaime at 3:31. My director mentioned that he received an email from LECO's Chief Technology Officer stating that all CalPADS users will be transitioned to required multi-factor authentication, or MFA, towards the end of this school year, so March through May of 2026. Can you please tell us more about this? Thank you.
Originals.
Yes, I was going to say, we do have more information about this that we're planning to provide in the regional update meetings on September 9th and September 10th. I did see Angela come off mute, so I don't know if you wanted to say anything in addition to that, Angela?
No, I was going to say we'll talk more about it at the regionals, but don't panic.
So you will be informed about this change. Next week, we did get a preliminary message out to the California County Superintendent's Technology Steering Committee group, which is where a lot of the CTOs go for networking and development. But we will get more information out to you folks about that in the regionals next week. Thank you for the question, Jaime. All right, next we have a Q1 from Jada Lang. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Are we able to cancel a training registration? So this was actually functionality that we were hoping would be implemented before this point, but it has not yet been implemented. So in order to cancel a training, you can email me and I will remove you from that training. I will put my email address in chat for you all right now.
Also in Flash 310, 311. Which Flash is that?
310.
It's at the bottom of it, second to the bottom. No.
Wrong
Which one?
Flash.
309. Sorry, Alex.
9.
And not to flood Matt's inbox, but if you need to cancel a registration, please do at this point. Just because there are other people that appear to be trying to get in as well too. So thank you.
Yes. I don't mind if you flood my inboxes with training cancellations. It's pretty quick to process, and I do think it's important for folks who are able to attend to get into the room. So please do send those cancellations if you are not able to make it tomorrow. All right. Next, we have a Q2 from Rigoberto at 3:33. Follow up just to make sure I got it down. If the TBD student has been tested in TOMS, we need to submit an HLS correction code with the subsequent SELA record. Otherwise, if the student has not been tested, we can delete the TBD record and submit an EO record. And Alex has that guidance pulled up for there on the correction of classifications process document there. It says once the student was identified as an EL.
Yeah, what student would have been tested in TOMS and not an EL or an IFEP? Remember that once the student has been tested in through TOMS for the LPAC will send that status to CalPADS with the test date. I would assume that if they're a TBD, they have yet to be tested.
Yes. So the only results of the initial LPAC are either EL or
IFEP.
IFEP. Thank you, Alex. So after you take the initial LPAC, those would be your only options. Those would be the only options for the actual English language acquisition status code. So if you would want to transition
back to the grid.
Right. So if you want to transition from one of those to EO, you would need to use one of the appropriate correction reason codes. And I hope that gave you confidence that you got it down, Rigoberto. I hope. Please feel free to ask follow-ups if
Right. Or at this point, I would suggest send the SSID and a service request asking for guidance, and we could look at the student's record and probably give you, if it's a specific student, the best guidance based on the student's record and the information you provide.
All right. Thank you, Nate. And thank you, Rigoberto. All right, next we have a question from Mervin at 334. Please remember to label your questions Q1, Q2, so that we can treat the queue with respect for everyone, with everyone's time and questions here. But a question from Mervin at 334. Sorry I was late and not sure if it was already asked, but I noticed that special education plans is not listed in the student detail. Was there a reason, or did I miss the information that was sent? So we did provide an explanation for this in the announcements today. So the new plan file layout was put into production early. It was put into production this Tuesday, so yesterday. The new layout adds 2 new fields, but the vendors were not ready for the early implementation, or they were not anticipating an early implementation. And the IVRs for the 2 new fields are also not scheduled to be implemented until next week. So in order to mitigate against issues, the plan file will not be available for upload until next week's release, so next Tuesday. And the CalPADS homepage does have that information for you right at the top there. Thank you, Alex. Okay. Next, we have a Q1 from Carrie at 337. Thinking about the college credit portion of the CCI. The technical guide states that college credit courses count as well as state course codes 7,000 to 8,999 with a 23 or 24 code. That is either college credit or dual credit. I was asked about a course that is mapped to 9335. That's an anatomy or physiology course. If the district marks the course with 24 dual credit, it won't count for college credit, right? The specific course is articulated with a community college, and the students are automatically accepted to the college and received credit based on the MOU. This particular course is not part of a CTE pathway. Do they need to be mapped to the course specifically to the college credit science state course code? And then continues on.
Yes. The answer to the question is the first question, because there's 2 questions in here. So the first part is, if the district marks the course with a 24 dual credit, it won't count for college credit, right? Yes, that is correct. It will not count. Okay, because it is not part of the 7,000 through 899, nor is it one of the college credit courses. And the college credit courses, they
Are
say
in the
college
9,000.
credit.
They're in the 9,000 series as well.
Yeah,
So
but they say college credit in
Right.
front of them. Right there. There you go. Thank you, Alex. You so love us. So your course don't fall within that. That's the first part. And then, do they need to be mapping to the specific college credit course for science state course code? I can't answer that question. And that's because that's a local decision, and it's a local decision for a bunch of different reasons, particularly that MOU that y'all have with them. That's a signed legal agreement. So you would need to work that out at the local level between your curriculum administrators and your college level folks. So therefore, they just need to give you the code of what it's being mapped to. And I just realized that's from Carrie. Sorry, Carrie.
All right, and then Evan clarifies the CCI calls the measure college credit, but it includes courses marked with both 23 and 24. That dual credit designation is meant to show that they're receiving both high school credit for the course and college credit for the course. That's what the dual of the dual enrollment. Yes, Alex.
I'm raising my hand. There is a validation that we have where we're only allowing codes 23 or 24 for CTE state course codes or the college credit state course codes. So you can't give us anything that falls outside of that with a 23 or 24, even if you wanted to. CalPADS would reject it.
Yeah, the appropriate code would be 9358 college credit course science, if you are doing it for the CCI.
But then he's also talking about articulation, and we don't count articulation for
Yeah.
for the dashboard. What CCI is going to collect, I can't answer that because they're CCI.
All right, I hope this helps, Carrie. And then we do have a part 2 to this question.
The articulation portion, I think it's an appendix A or B, Alex. If you put in articulation, if you put in Control F for articulation, it'll come up.
So the
There you
question
go.
is, they have the same thing. Similarly, they have the same thing with an AP Spanish course. The AP Spanish course is articulated with the same community college. Should they be mapping to the 9154 world language state course codes? They're curious about the misassignment aspect of changing the course code for these college credit courses.
Yeah, I just want to be very clear that the field in the course section, the CTE articulated course indicator, isn't a factor in the CCI. I've never seen it map. I think Alex has the appropriate document opened
That's
up.
what I pointed her to. It was telling them.
It says articulated, but I always read it as a matter of fact or a business practice, not necessarily the field.
It's not we don't count articulation. We can't. We don't have a way to.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm agreeing with. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. But Carrie, the dashboard technical guide for the college and career indicator is a good resource to investigate there. And then you can submit a ticket for more detailed guidance if you want to submit specific details for your scenario.
Hey, I wasn't trying to sound mean, but I had chips in my mouth. My bad. I was trying not to spill the chips over the screen.
All right, next we have a Q1 from Anne at 3:38. I apologize, I'm joined the meeting late. What was the answer to pause question at 3:03? Let me track down pause 3:03 question here. Pause 3:03 question was LTEL export. Second year in the position and not sure where to find this. And so the LTEL export is in the cumulative enrollment extract. It is important that we're mindful that this is an extract, not a report. This is not the SENR report. This is the CENR extract, the cumulative enrollment extract. And Alex is showing you where to find it. So on the extracts page, it's under ODS extracts, and there's the cumulative enrollment or CENR there. And then was it a Flash that provided guidance on? Yes, Flash 311 provides guidance on analyzing the CENR extract for your LTEL students. All right. Thank you, Anne. Next, we have a Q1 from Catherine at 3:40. I know someone asked earlier, but I did not hear the answer. My uploads are not working in CalPads as well, and I am showing the error screen that says come back in a few minutes. This has been showing for the last couple of hours for I know there was an issue with the plan file uploads that was intentional, but I believe that's the only file upload issue that we are aware of.
Angela and Nate answered this one before, and I think that was the correct answer. They need to change their browser or clear out their cache.
Try both of those and then put in a ticket if that doesn't work for you. And let us know what file type you're trying to upload.
Right.
Thanks, Natasha. I'll go look for your ticket.
All right. Thank you. All right, next we have a Q1 from Asia at 3:41. Will there be guidance provided on the new ELP program 194 for the LEAP file referenced in version 17.0 of the code sets? And Alex is pulling up Flash 305 with guidance on the ELP program. We will also be speaking to the ELP program in the regional update meetings next week, so there will be some guidance provided there as well. Right. So Asia, please look at Flash 305 and please do register for the regional session in your region next week. All right, next we have a Q2 from Lethea at 3:45. For ERDs, if we leave the status as an E140 E400 and they show up X months later in another California school, and I don't change our exit from exit status E140 E400 to T160, will the student remain in our dropout?
Can somebody tell me what the E140 is? Is that truant?
It's a
or is
dropout.
that-
Yeah,
Okay.
both of those are dropout codes, and it kind of depends on the dates, Lethea, so how long the student was gone, but they may show up as a dropout re-enrolled, exit reason discrepancy.
There's a state view dropout report, and then there's other dropout reports. And I think I don't know the numbers, 1.6, 1.8 are basically your reported dropout. So even if they have re-enrolled, if you use a exit reason code like E140, they're going to be on report. Well, you had it up there, 1.8,
Yeah.
I think. But the state view is actually, the 1.14, the most accurate one. It's also the report that includes your lost transfers. And because it's the state view, if they enroll before census day, it won't count them as a dropout. So it's not like Angela was saying, it's not a period of time. It's dependent on when they return. So if they started this fall and left last February, they won't be on the state view report because they started before census day. They didn't miss census day. If they leave in April and come back after census day, they're going to show up as a dropout because they were not enrolled in, over census day. Hopefully that helps.
Sounds very helpful to me, Nate. All right, next we have a Q2 from Larney at 347. I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but isn't there a validation when we submit a LIP record for a student who is not EL? Are LIP records only for EL students?
No, lip records are not only for EL students, but there are like 3 of them that are for EL only. I don't remember which ones and that wonderful thing Kyron created. The use
Also-
manual.
Yeah, there's also an FAQ on that.
Oh, cool. Thank you. And they say, I know the one that Kyron created, it says it says EL only in the user manual. I don't know if it says that in the FAQ. Does it say it in FAQ actually?
No, anybody can take a LIP, can be participating in a LIP program.
No, but I'm saying there are the 3 that are LIP only. I mean, the 3 that are EL only.
Oh, I don't know if that's not in the FAQ, but I don't know if it's in the user manual.
It's in the user manual somewhere. There you go.
Yep.
See, it says EL only. And go back up, Alex. Yeah, 307,
Oh,
300, 303, and 307.
Oh, 305 too. It's just
Yep.
it's at the end.
oh,
Oh, my bad. Thank you. There's 4 of them. There you go. Thanks, Matt. Good catch.
All right. Hopefully that helps, Larney. And that does bring us to the end of the questions. I guess this is a pretty reasonable time to reach the end of the questions. It is about 3:50, but we do have 10 minutes left. So if you have any additional questions you'd like to ask the group, please get those questions in the Q&A box quickly here. And I'll try to bide some time for you guys.
One is trying to join us.
All right. What do you think, Angela? Ready to call it here?
That's good.
Yeah, it's 3:51 by my clock. Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it there. Thank you for attending, everyone. Thank you for attending the office hours for
Somebody
Wednesday.
said, hold on.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Larissa says, hold on.
I don't blame you. Thank
We're
you for
waiting in the
hold on
wings for you,
there.
Larissa.
That was for you, Matt.
She says, I just received my reject email for tomorrow's training. I think that means you received the email that states that you're on the waiting list. And so there is a successive Fall 1 advanced training, and I did receive a cancellation for that one in my inbox since this Q&A started. So if you would like to monitor the CSIS training registration page for the Fall 1 advanced session that is occurring on September 17th, there will be at least one opening that will occur in that session. But it looks like as of today is the first date that this is accurate, but as of today, both of the Fall 1 advanced sessions are now full. And so if you are able to monitor this for training cancellations, if any seats open up, we are going to be in discussions internally about the feasibility of offering a third Fall 1 Advanced session, but we do have the 25-26 Fall 1 Advanced session in an on-demand fashion on the CSIS YouTube training channel right now. So you are able to engage with that training content via the YouTube now. We would like to get you into a live training room if at all possible. We just need to determine the feasibility of offering a third session for advanced. So please do stay tuned on successive sessions. But we do have the YouTube channel for you right now. All right. And then we have a question coming from left field from Amberito. Is there any discussion about having direct cert going away? Someone heard this in our district. I haven't heard anything.
I have not heard that either.
Heard that. I think that's part of, we can't believe everything we hear out in the streets.
So don't believe the rumors, Ann. Direct certification, sticking with us. All right, now we have a question from Stephanie at 3:53. I may have missed this, but can we upload program 194 after September 9th? So September 9th is the rollover into the new academic year, and starting on September 9th, you are able to upload the LEAP files for program 194. So the answer is, to echo Chris at 3:54, yes. Okay, now we have,
No, I just wanted to add to what Sean said. Direct certification is a federally mandated process, so every state has to do it. So we have to have some form of direct certification, and unless, well, legislation can change. We can see that. So, you know, it wouldn't be just California.
Thank you, Nate.
yeah. Thanks, Nate. All right, now we have a question from Lori at 3:54. Question for Paul. I have a ticket in with you. I have follow-up questions related to TBD to EO changes for students that were TBD in TK and now EO in Kinder. It took me a week to respond. Will you still see my response?
Can we
I
get the
feel-
ticket number, Lori?
I feel tempted to answer for Paul and saying, yes, he will see your response in the ticket.
Depends on if it's closed or open still.
Lori, if you wanted to provide, oh, there we go. We got a ticket number.
We will make sure it gets to you. 326062.
Yes. Thanks, Sean.
You got it.
And she says it is still open. All right. We will get you that support, Lori.
Looks like it's been forwarded on to the Tom's team, and Sarah has it in her box now.
Okay. All right. So your ticket's been
Make sure
circulating.
response gets to you.
Yeah, we're making sure we get you the correct guidance, and it is taking a little bit of circulation to do that, but we will get you that response, Lori. Just sit tight for a little while longer. And that once again brings us to the end of the questions. I've got 3:56. What do we think, Angela?
Go for it. Let's call it.
All right. Let's go ahead and call it here. Thank you, everyone, for attending the Wednesday CalPads Q&A. We will see you again next Wednesday, same time, same place. And please don't forget to register for the Fall 1 trainings. Again, we are sold out of advance. There are still sessions available for reporting and certification and for the third data population session. So please do sign up for those reporting and certification and data population live training sessions.